and just take shirtless pictures of puppies all day. That's a way to grow the audience. We're trying to teach you how to authentically do it. Favorite dog currently in the house? Oh, just one.
Oh, no.
Just one. You're going to hurt so many feelings. No, I picked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Hey, guys. Welcome.
What's going on? Welcome to episode 3 of Revenge Tour Topic and Q&A. Today, we have a few questions from Patreons, YouTube, and our topic for the day is actually a good one. How to best build a social media platform.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a really good one.
Steph
That's like my thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had an early career in marketing.
Yeah.
My first year, I guess. So I have a little bit of a marketing background. That's Steph's baby. Steph is all about marketing. It's what she's done predominantly through her adult life. So. Yeah. Steph really loves this kind of stuff.
Yeah, my basically entire adult life as a profession has been in marketing. Yeah. Started as a marketing assistant, then marketing manager, then marketing director. Then I started coaching young entrepreneurs on how to launch their business and kind of business coaching them through that. And then I moved on to small businesses and helping them do it on like a smaller scale. But it's one of the things I enjoy doing the most is kind of coaching people and teaching people how to do that.
Yeah.
And most of the time it's life coaching people through it because
right.
It's people's fears of showing up on social media.
Yeah.
And being like, oh my God, I'm going to look stupid. I don't know. I don't want to show my face on social media. I don't want to do a story.
Yeah.
You know, even to this day, sometimes I get nervous doing stories. It happens.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not like this magical thing that happens all of a sudden one day you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm great at social media.
I think some people are. Some people for sure are.
Yeah. I mean, some people are naturals on
yes.
camera, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as far as the ins and outs go, because Steph loves content. She loves social media. She loves great content. I can't stand it. I view it as a necessary evil.
It is.
So, I mean, when I decided to take my page seriously and start growing, it was a necessary evil for the dogs right. and for the rescue to, you know, start branching out Revenge Tour. But that's where you and I differ. You genuinely enjoy creating content. I can't stand it.
Right.
I mean, if it wasn't such a massive help, I'd much rather not have social media at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
without social media, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
No, we can't spread awareness. We can't run rescue. Right. So I understand that aspect of it. So I think as far as building your social media, we can tackle this a few different ways.
Right.
I don't want to focus solely on dog rescue because I don't know if this person was asking about dog rescue, just in a broad sense.
Right.
You know, somebody that is brand new to social media and they're trying to grow their business or promote themselves.
Right.
What do they need to do first?
I think first and foremost is figuring out why you're on social media. Like, what is your why? What's the purpose of, you know, you choosing to do content creation and grow your social media following? When you have a why to do something, it becomes easier to do the hard stuff.
Right.
In my opinion. So once you figure out what that why is, and I'm not talking like, oh, I want to make money. Yeah, everyone wants to make money. Yeah. Everyone wants a little more money in their pocket, but why do you want that money? Do you want to provide for your family? Do you want to be able to buy your mom a house one day? Do you want to be able to help the less fortunate? You know, the bigger why. Typically, I used to ask clients why 3 times. Like they would say, oh, I want to make money. Okay, why do you want to make money? Oh, because I want to be able to provide for my family. Okay, well, why do you want to be able to provide for your family? Well, my mom had a really tough upbringing and she's always been there for everyone and has really struggled. And all I want to do is be able to help her retire and live a wonderful, like that's the deep why, not the I want to make more money, right? So asking why 3 times and getting down to the root of why you're doing what you're doing. And then finding your little niche, right? The more that you can focus on a sole topic for Duke, it's the dog rescue now. And it's just picking that 1 or 2 topics that you're really going to focus in on. If your page is kind of all over the place, sure, you'll have people follow and then you'll have people fall off. You won't retain the following. And it's easier to create content when you have a solid subject that you're working around.
Yeah, well, this is where you and I think it'll be interesting for people because you're taking the life coaching approach.
Yeah.
Because again, you're used to helping people through this and
Right.
kind of digging into their psyche. Like you asked about the first thing you're doing is your why.
Yeah.
In my head, because I view social media as necessary evil,
Right.
when I look at it, the first thing is why are you on social media? I'm not thinking about you personally.
Yeah.
Because for me, I didn't want to be on social media. There was no bigger why outside of, hey, I want to promote the rescue. I want to help these dogs. So my first step, my why would be more so, what are you providing? What are you providing on social media for people? Because you have to have value.
Right.
For social media, there's obviously a comedic route, right? Where people are going to your page, they're seeing your stuff pop up because it's making them laugh.
Right.
There's educational, right? And educational can be really tricky, especially today, because some of the most popular people on social media, unfortunately, from an educational standpoint, are the people that take very extreme stances.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of a lazy, easy way to break in. But it is there, so you have to be careful. But providing value, education, comedic relief, inspiration, motivation, or tips and tricks that you kind of have to figure out, what am I providing first?
Right.
So I'm trying to think of an example that's outside of dog rescue. It's difficult.
I mean, any type of service, business coaching, marketing coaching, you're providing a service. What's your what? An 8-week course, one-on-one coaching.
Right.
And so that would be the value that you're providing to your audience or your potential customer. Because if you're going into it with, all right, the end goal is to get X amount of clients or, get X amount of dollars per view, right? Because there's all sorts of ways you can make money on social media. And you're looking for clicks. Okay, then you have to really hone in what you're providing.
Right.
What is the service that you're providing? What is your, content goal surrounded around?
Right.
And then go from there.
Right.
But I always start with the why, because that's what's going to keep you going.
No,
that's
I mean,
I wake you up every day.
I understand that.
But,
yeah.
And I think necessary evil in your eyes, yes. But your big why is helping the dogs.
Oh, I mean, it's deep rooted because I have a deep disdain for social media, but I still do it every single day. So yes, I mean, my why is because it's helping these dogs. But my point being, for most people, you have to identify kind of what your category is, what you're providing to people. And then, they'll talk about a pyramid. So for the dog rescue, right, you have dog rescue as your big bubble.
Yeah.
That's the main focus. And then you have your subcategories where it could be revenge tour, educational, or we do like comedic stuff. Yeah. Or like day in the life voiceover videos with the dogs. And those are kind of the three subcategories. So if our page, our focus is dog rescue on the dogs, Monday, it might be a revenge tour post, right? Where we're getting people emotionally invested in these dogs, sharing their stories with them. Tuesday might be an educational post where we're talking about the 3-3-3 rule, how to crate train, how to rotate dogs, whatever it may be. Wednesday, we might be highlighting a dog like Kirby or Sammy, where we've done, funny videos with voiceovers and stuff like that. So you have subcategories underneath. So, I feel like that's the best way to go about it. Instead of just hammering people with, let's say 7 days of 7 very emotional, high value revenge tour videos. Right. There is potential for burnout with your audience. So having subcategories can be really helpful.
Yeah.
The biggest thing, I think, and everyone says it, I know, but you have to be yourself, I think. And look, again, there's a lot of asses on social media, so there are exceptions to the rules. There's clearly people, again, that take like wild extreme stances and are not themselves. And controversial people can get very popular on social media. That happens. I don't like that approach. I think it's much better to be yourself. I think it's easier to operate. Like, we don't second guess stuff we post.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's very easy in that sense because we're just recording our days as we go. Yeah. So, when we hop on the story, it's just what's happening and we're ourselves and it's organic. And I do think people can tell. Yeah. So, if you're market, if what you're doing on social media isn't something you're truly passionate about,
Right.
you know, and you're not being yourself, I feel like it's going to get very tricky to continue on with it. I feel like that line can kind of get blurred.
Yeah. And I totally understand that it's not everyone's personality, right? To be on camera and speaking to people. I mean, really, you're speaking into your phone. But the way that I think we both do our stories or videos is we make it feel like we're talking to one person.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are talking to our friend. We are discussing something that is really bothering us, or we're letting our friend know, hey, this is what happened in our day. It's like I'm picking up the phone and calling one of my best friends.
Yeah.
So that's the way that we speak into stories, and even when we do these podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand that's not everyone's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Right. But it's one of the most important parts when creating a credible, and I'm going to say brand.
Yeah.
Creating a credible brand, because people get really attached to animals in our rescue.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But people create connections with people.
Mm-hmm.
And so they need to see you. They need to see your face. They need to know the people that are running the company, the brand, whatever service that you're selling, because then they're going to trust you.
Well, how many dog rescues do we see?
That show face?
That don't show face, that are doing really good work, that struggle on social media.
Yeah.
It is very important to show face, even in the dog rescue space, because I know really good rescues that are uncomfortable on camera.
Right.
And they'll show their dogs for 4 or 5 years and the platform just doesn't grow.
Yeah.
People want to connect to people as well.
Right.
So showing face is massively important, and then consistency. And that's another boring one. But we just had a conversation actually with a younger couple.
Yeah.
Who they had reached out like 2 years ago.
It was like a year ago.
Or a year ago about starting a 501c3, and we get hundreds of these.
We get this a lot.
And they actually did.
Yeah.
So they reached back out. You know, they had filed for their 501c3. They got it. They were fostering. So we hopped on a call with them, and that was one of the big questions, was social media. And I just tried to hammer it in as much as I can after we went over liability and, you know, get an attorney and all this stuff.
All the boring stuff.
Yeah. But it was, you have to be consistent and you have to be able to tell a story.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, 7 days a week, you have to have something up.
Yep.
You really do when you're first starting out. And, you know, then you can kind of scale back to every other day if you're running other platforms. But, you know, if you're focusing solely like on Instagram, 7 days a week, get something up and tell a story.
Right.
I think that's important because there's a lot of people in the rescue space where it's a picture of a dog. Hey, we rescued this dog. We're fundraising for this dog, and you don't see the dog again for 2-3 weeks.
Right.
You have to tell a story. Obviously, on our pages, Shadow, Anakin, it's easier to isolate on one dog and tell a story. When we run a rescue of 30 dogs, it's tough. And we're still trying to find that balance because you have to rotate and update with every dog. But, you know, that's why most of the videos start with from the shelter, right? To the vet, to rehab, and then kind of present day, because you are telling a story.
Right. Well, I think that's like from a psychological standpoint, that's when people come together. You know, like campfire, telling stories, inviting people into a journey. People like to be a part of what's happening with, you know, the animal in our case. But I used to tell my clients when they were launching a business, like, hey, bring people along the journey. Like, tell people, hey, I'm so excited. I'm going to be working on this project. I've been wanting to start this business for however long. It's finally happening. Like, I'm going to be providing this service or taking on clients or whatever by this date. Yeah. You know, and inviting people on to that journey too, because there's a lot of people out there that want to start something new, but they are so scared to fail. Like that is the biggest limiting belief that people have is, I'm going to become a failure. I'm not going to accomplish what I set out to accomplish. I'm going to fall short. People are going to see it. I'm going to be embarrassed. Like, I don't know.
I think that's definitely one of the biggest shortcomings people have on social media is they get too attached to likes and comments early on or at all.
Right.
And, you know, engaging, especially on Instagram, does help. Yeah. Like, you do want to take time to engage with your audience.
Oh, absolutely.
But if there's a trade-off and you're someone that is just petrified of being judged, or, you know, ending up with 3 likes on a post you spent an hour on, post it and hop off, and then do it again the next day, and then do it again the next day. You're better off being consistent and, you know, putting up content every day, as opposed to posting something, getting discouraged, and then 2 weeks later you work up the courage to do it again. If you have to have a trade-off, pick the consistency side.
Yeah.
Pick the consistency side because it will pay off better.
Yeah. And obviously there's other like little tips and tricks on social media on, creating good reels and good content and all that stuff. And we can get into that on another video. But as far as like the basics, I would say, is figuring out what your why is. It's funny. You kind of worked backwards with the what, because I think it's Simon Sinek, but he is a marketing guru. And at the center is his why. Right. And then it's his how. And then it's the what he's providing. And you kind of work in and I work out. So maybe that's why we work so well together. But anyways, it's figuring out what your why is, how you're going to do it, and what you're providing. Right. So, with social media and growing social media, consistency is probably one of the biggest things. Showing up every single day, inviting people onto the journey of what it is you're working on.
And telling that story.
And telling the story. Yeah. And obviously you kind of have to, mold that into your own thing, depending on what space you're in.
I know I'm having a hard time thinking of something other than dog rescue. I was trying to come up with a good topic, but the key points people need to focus on. Keep going. That was good.
No, it's, if you're starting one of my friends from elementary school, just started a charcuterie board business.
Oh yeah.
And I immediately ordered one and sent it to a friend in California. She's in Santa Clarita. And I was like, I want to support her small business. But she's posting every single day of her like beautiful boards that she's creating. I wish she was down the street because I'd probably be eating charcuterie boards every day. Yeah. But she's consistent, and she's the page was at 0 and she's literally probably at 500 followers in 2 weeks, which is really great. Yeah. And it's people just sharing, people that are ordering her boards, then sharing it on social media, and people are following, and it's just word of mouth and it's growing organically, but she's creating the content for people to share. Yeah. Right. So it's, it's just about showing up every single day. And sure, your first 100 posts might get 10 likes, 5 likes. That's how the Powerful Rescue started. It was my dog's personal page, and then I morphed it into a rescue page.
We tell people all the time, the rescue's been going 6 years now. Yep. It was the first 4 years we had a couple thousand max.
I think at the
very peak,
it was like 15 to 20,000 followers before a few videos started to go viral.
Well, one went viral and then everything else picked up. So that's part of where consistency comes into play. Yeah. Right. And we had always done a good job telling the story and giving updates. So once one video went viral and took off, people could go back and instead of, a random post of a dog that they never saw again, it was, here's this video from start to where they are now. And then they keep going and, from start to where we are now 2 months after this one. So it's continuous. People can follow along through that journey and story. So that's why telling a story and being consistent is so big.
I think what really helped us with consistency as well is finding out what our audience enjoyed watching the most too.
Yeah. And you can get feedback from the algorithm.
Right. There's insights that you can look at, statistics that you can look at on your dashboard, and it'll tell you like, hey, this one really did well.
If we're going to lay it out, if I wanted to kind of run through a prep, get like 8 weeks out and just be really lean and shredded. Yeah. And just take shirtless pictures of puppies all day.
I mean, you do a lot, but
that's a way to grow the audience like massively. Yeah. Or if we wanted to only take in unicorn dogs, dog-friendly dogs, golden retrievers, labs, because yes, according to the algorithm, 10 times more popular than any dog we've ever rescued. We could do that. Yeah. And then we could hop in the Sprinter van. Like imagine we take Shadow, Anakin, baby Ruth, and we decide to go road trip to like the national parks in the United States.
God, that sounds really nice. Can we do that?
It sounds really nice. Yeah, that would be a much easier way to tell a story and get people connected with dogs. So I understand, like, we're trying to teach you how to authentically do it and do it because I think to do this for a long time, it has to be something you're passionate about. And that's not what we're passionate about. Right. We're passionate about senior dogs, revenge tours, medical dogs, overbred mamas. And that's a much smaller niche, right? Because it's a lot to look at for some people, as opposed to, I guess that would make our why social media. Right. Like if our why was, I just want a massive platform, that would be the approach. Right. I just don't like that approach because I don't think it's actually going to be fulfilling for anybody. So,
Right. Well, it's about creating a community.
yeah.
And you want your community to be a tight knit group of people that feel and somewhat think the same. Like you're kind of all in the same boat. I'm gonna say think the same, but all in the same, you know, they're passionate about relatively the same things that you're passionate about.
Well, and there
right?
is an
Creating
audience for everyone at this point in life. Like I always tell people, if you're passionate about collecting Legos from 1980 with brown eyes that wear boots, you're probably going to find tens of thousands of people.
There's a Facebook page for it. I can assure you.
That also enjoy doing that. Like there's an audience for everything.
Well, and I think also, yes, growing your social media platform is great, but also double down on the people that are already there on your page. You know, they're following you for a reason. So, you know, be grateful for the people that are currently watching, be good to those people that are currently watching and following, and also ask them for their input. We always, you know, ask our audience like, hey, you know, what do you guys want to see more of? What questions do you have? Because they might have pressing questions that you haven't answered yet. So
yeah, I think, well, and that's it's people overestimate too, as far as just not shutting down when you get 10 likes or 100 likes on a video. Yeah. With Instagram, we're well over 200,000 on almost all the platforms. I mean, you could end up with hundreds of comments on a regular post.
Yeah.
And we just started YouTube where some of the views, I mean, it could be 1,000 views, but some videos have 200-300 views.
Yeah.
Not discouraging at all. You have to look at it from the perspective of 200 people took time out of their day to come watch us ramble for 30 minutes. Like that's really a better way to look at it that I think is more encouraging, because people always assume they're looking at the viral videos. Yeah. Questions.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. No, these are good.
Okay.
The first one's just funny. How do you find the energy to do what you do and run the schedule you do with the dogs day after day? No, they don't pay us.
Celsius, could you please pay us?
Yeah, caffeine is out of control.
Copious amounts.
We're definitely trying to be better. We started working with Rise HRT, and they've been a massive help just from getting hormones like optimized. So hormones optimized. They got some other fun stuff, NMN, NAD. Yeah. I have a Bio Boost shot from them with B vitamins, L-carnitine. So that end, I've cut down on caffeine at least, because I'm much worse than Steph. I was to the point I was having 4 cups of coffee in the morning. A pre-workout with 300 milligrams of caffeine, and then 2 energy drinks to wrap up the day. Yeah. And it's not great, but I'm down to 2 cups of coffee in the morning, no pre-workout, just a stim-free, and then I'll have 1, you know, canned energy drink to finish out the day. So I'm doing a lot better, but caffeine does play a role in the energy for sure. Because you guys know, I mean, we're running 16-hour days minimum. Yeah. And it's 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We did also invest, and we're a little better with it. Steph definitely struggles with it. I'm better with it. The cold plunge. Cold plunge, and we have an infrared sauna. So trying to make that just a routine thing, like first thing in the morning, then right before bed, so we can knock out. Yeah. And again, I've said this a bunch. I'm not one of those people that the cold plunge cures cancer and does all these amazing things. There's not a lot of science, not a lot of backed research that validates all of the claims of a cold plunge. Yeah. I think like most things, like we were just talking about extremes on social media, people have taken a cold plunge and turned it into this magical fairy thing. Like you're essentially jumping in cold water. You feel really energized when you get out. Right. Right. I mean, it releases dopamine and stuff like that. And I think your body's also like, oh, that sucked. Man, I feel great because I did it. Whatever it may be. It's refreshing. I don't care. I feel better after I do it.
That's good.
And it's a nice boost of energy. Yeah. So, I mean, cold plunge is something I'll do a lot. Outside of that, caffeine, cold plunge, Rise. I think the biggest one, it's not real helpful, is just that we don't have a choice. Like we love the heck out of these dogs. They need to go out. They need to be worked. They need to be fed. They need their meds. Yeah. Yeah. What about you? You got anything?
Nope. That you nailed it. I mean, Rise has been a big one. Yeah. You know, getting our blood work done and seeing where our hormones are, because a lot of that does rely on, you know, where your body is from a physical, biological standpoint. Like you think years ago, I thought I was just tired. Oh, I'm just tired. I don't have motivation. I'm probably depressed because, everyone's depressed. And then you get your blood work done. It's like, oh, you have no testosterone in your body.
Yeah.
So, not to go down that rabbit hole, but yeah, getting my hormones balanced out significantly helped.
Yeah. Well, now getting into gut health, cortisol.
Right.
Rise has been a big help. And I mean, I think if anytime you could optimize your body, it's a win. So we're trying to focus more on that and less on caffeine. Yeah. I love this one because it's gonna pit us against each other. Favorite dog currently in the house?
Oh, out of this crew?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're easy. You have to say it.
Shadow?
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Just one.
Oh, no.
Just one. You're going to hurt so many feelings. Poor Sandy. Sandy, Mom. What's that, Sandy?
No, Sandy. Mama loves you.
Mama, I thought I was your favorite. Mom, pick me.
No, it's like Sandy, Bucky.
You can only pick one.
Shadow.
You can only pick one.
I don't pick any.
You pick one. Come on. It's for the people. Let's go.
Shadow.
Yeah. Why, Mom? Mother, why'd you betray me? Don't worry, Sandy. I pick you.
You don't pick Sandy.
No, I pick Opal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Opal's my favorite. Sandy, I will say. Sandy gets bonus points, though, because she's just the best.
Her personality is amazing.
Yeah. You can't not love Sandy. It's funny. She's in our bathroom. And
that sounds awful.
It's a big master bathroom. She's got a playpen. Yeah. Calm down. Okay.
We don't have anywhere to move in the bathroom because she's taken over the entire master bathroom.
But Sandy's one of those dogs. It doesn't matter how bad the day has been, or it could be midnight and we're just wrapping up and we have to be up at 3 a.m. for a morning vet drop off. And it's like I walk in and I see her and I'm just smiling.
Yeah.
Sandy's the best. Why do you prefer slip leads for the dogs you take in? I love this one because I love talking about slip leads.
Yeah. I mean,
and preface this, sorry. We are not saying slip leads are for your dog that you've had for 8 years and is already good on leash. It's not for everyone. This is why we use slip leads as a rescue.
Yeah. First and foremost, safety.
Yes.
A dog that might be nervous, doesn't know you, just came from a loud environment, maybe has some medical, doesn't feel well. The last thing you want to do is fidget with their neck and fit a collar and then try to clip a collar on.
Well, your hands are all around their face for an extended period of time.
Super easy. Just slip it over their head and you're safe. Also, because of safety reasons, there's a stopper on that slip lead. And let's say this dog is completely terrified and a trash truck comes by as you're trying to load the dog into the car and it slips out of its collar and runs off. With a slip lead, it will not do that. It cannot back out of a slip lead. So from a safety standpoint, those are my two biggest reasons that we use slip leads.
Yeah. No, I mean, so safety for sure.
Yeah.
Being the biggest one. Keeping things uniform in the rescue is also important.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'll touch on is from a leash pressure standpoint, I really like slip leads.
Yeah.
And with the dogs we're taking in, a lot of them have not had, they've been, deprived of that basic obedience work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or they haven't been handled. They've been left outside their whole life.
Or they've never been on leash.
Or never been on leash, which is the case for a lot of peers. So we're basically starting from scratch with adult dogs that just have never had that training. So I feel that slip leads are a very effective way to teach leash pressure. And people hear leash pressure and they think it equals more pressure.
Yeah.
I try and explain this a lot. Proper leash pressure means that you're almost not using any real pressure. It's not the slip lead. It's not the tool that's providing that pressure. It's the person at the end of that tool that is yanking on their dog so they're out of control. So if you have your dog on a flat collar, right, with a retractable leash, and they're losing their mind because they don't understand what to do, they're reactive on leash, you're trying to change directions and you're sitting there yanking, that is a lot of pressure. If you're using a slip lead and you're able to easily redirect, communicate with your dog where that pressure is coming from, it's a lot less pressure. So don't think of tools so much as being, the item that is applying pressure. It's the handler at the end of those tools. So slip leads, essentially we could talk about a collar. If you see Steph's collar right now, it's very loose. So we could say that's a flat collar, right? If I'm trying to redirect my dog, teach recall, change directions, or just give a simple correction, they can, but they can't exactly feel where that pressure is coming from because of the gap in her collar. So obviously that's a lot of room. So the dog can't pinpoint exactly where that's coming from. If I have a slip lead, my collar is a little bit tighter. When I'm changing directions, a lot less wiggle room. Like there's less of a gap here, if that makes sense. So they can feel exactly where that's coming from. So in the end, I have to use less pressure because this little correction, they're like, oh, we're going this way, or oh, I'm being recalled over here. As opposed to Steph's shirt, where there's so much room, it's kind of like, what exactly?
Right.
So I feel like slip leads from a leash pressure standpoint are very effective.
Yeah.
That's the only other one I did.
Okay.
Cool. Favorite road trip snacks?
Caffeine.
Yes. What's the, go to, I guess, our typical like 24-hour transport?
Every time we mention tired caffeine, have you guys noticed I reach over for my drink? Just need a boost. The 1 a.m. subway stop.
Yes, 1 a.m. subway stop is a must. That's a tradition for Steph and I.
Because Subway, in our opinion, does not taste great any other time of the day. But at 1 a.m. at a Love's gas station, when you get an Italian sub, lightly toasted,
Blech.
It hits the spot.
Well, not that one, but yeah. Subway at 1 a.m. is a tradition just because we've been driving for like 18 hours at that point, 20 hours at that point, and we haven't actually like had solid food. We've meal prep, but it's like cold rice and chicken, and it's that 1 a.m. stop where it's like, warm food.
Yeah.
But no, the usual, I would say, like we go to the gas station, it's usually
protein bar. Yeah,
protein bar, energy drink, and then this is very important. It's either what's the water, the canned water that you like? Oh, Liquid Death. Liquid Death, or the water from a glacier in Alaska. The secret Iceland water. Yeah, the Iceland water is good. I like that Iceland water.
Water's not a snack.
No, it's very important. Optimal hydration.
Yeah, no, I don't consume water.
I have to buy Liquid Death water for Steph because it's in a can and she'll actually drink it.
Yeah, it's all.
That's the only way she does it.
Okay.
Does Steph plan on competing again?
Probably not.
Probably not. If you weren't
that was quick.
well, there's not much more to dive into.
Yep.
Oh, this is a good one. If you weren't doing rescue, what would you be doing?
I'd probably be doing business and marketing coaching, like full time.
Yeah.
That's what I really, really enjoy. Either that or they said rescuing dogs, right? Or just rescue.
No, rescue anything. If you weren't doing rescue anything.
Rescuing horses, that's probably.
No. So what, business and marketing?
Yeah.
Oh. Mine's different, I guess, because it's been molded by rescue. Because it wouldn't have been this pre-rescue. But I would love to, and we've talked about it before too. Travel.
Well, yeah.
to like, and I don't know how to describe the exact places, but do like wildlife photography. I think would be really cool.
Yeah, we just live in an RV.
Yeah, just
travel through the
US and do wildlife photography. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd like to do something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Best style of training for your dog?
Oh, it just depends on the dog.
Yeah.
It's every dog is so different, and what they enjoy to do and what they see as a reward, what their attention span is. Everything is so different. I think you have to find out what drives your dog and then find a trainer that can bring that out in a dog.
Yeah, I would say be careful of extremes. If there's a trainer or somebody that's telling you there's one way and one way only to best train your dog, I would probably run away from that person.
Yeah.
I think it's finding how to best communicate with your dog, but there's a lot of different ways to train your dog. The extremes of only this type of training or that type of training and nothing else works, meh.
Yeah.
If you could listen to one song and one song only for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Korn, Freak on a Leash.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go there. That's an easy one.
You?
Man.
Can't skip that.
That's so hard.
Breaking Benjamin.
No, that's, my all-time favorite gym song, Diary of Jane by Breaking Benjamin for sure. That's been my playlist for, I don't even know, grade school. But I don't know, I can't listen to that just in the car every day. That's so tough. See, this doesn't make sense because it's another gym song, but this has been my top played song for like 3 years is Making Eyes by Archers. So Apparently, that is the song.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's the song that you have been playing for the last 3 years.
Making Eyes by Archer, apparently. Yeah, top song in 2021, 22, 23.
Wow.
Yep. Oh, Bleeding Out, Imagine Dragons is up there.
Oh, that one's a good one.
That is a really good one.
Yeah.
That one doesn't get old. Houston, We Got a Problem by Luke Combs. That's another really good one. Love You Too Late, Cole Swindle. I'm picking a bunch now. Yeah. Dang it. So hard.
Okay.
One of those.
No, you picked your first one.
All right,
okay.
Archers. All right. I think that's all we got. And I think we're pretty good on time here. So for the next one, if you guys have any topic suggestions or questions, comment below. And then don't forget, please help us out. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and
ring the bell.
Later, guys.